A soldier stepped on a landmine, but he didn't notice at all. The next second, both of his legs were blown off. Another man tried to save his teammate, but ended up stepping on a landmine too. In an instant, he was shaking all over, completely frozen in place. But the screams of his teammates snapped him out of it. Right now, he couldn't move to help his friend, so he gave him a shot of sedative to ease the pain. The man decided to risk losing a leg, planning to jump over and stop the bleeding, but when his teammate heard that, he pointed a pistol at his own head. He didn't want the man to become disabled too. The man broke down. Quickly forced himself to calm down. First, he adjusted his position, kneeling down to relieve some weight from his foot. Then, he used a knife to check under his boot. It was definitely a landmine. Next, he radioed headquarters for help, but they told him the sandstorm made it impossible for aircraft to reach the desert. They could only send a rescue vehicle. Suddenly, a massive sandstorm was rolling straight toward him. He quickly grabbed a scarf, covered his mouth and nose, then put on his backpack to increase his weight. He pressed his rifle into the sand as a support, and stabbed his knife into the ground to stabilize himself. The soldier braced against the sandstorm, without moving an inch. After the storm passed, he pulled out his canteen. Just a few drops of water left. He fired a few shots into the air, but clearly, there was no one around. The man completely lost hope. He wanted to end his own life with the gun, but he couldn't pull the trigger, because he thought of his fiancée and their unborn child. His family was the only reason he kept holding on. No one knows how much time passed, when finally the radio came back to life, but the desert was too vast. The rescue team couldn't pinpoint his location. If they couldn't find him within an hour, they had to return to base. There was a flare just 3 meters away, but he didn't have the courage to take that step. The man was completely hopeless. At that moment, he thought about how many times he'd lacked the courage to take the first step. As a kid, he wanted to stop his father from hurting his mom, but he stepped on a landmine. He wanted to protect his girlfriend from bad people. On landmine, he wanted to visit his sick mother. Landmine again. Finally, he mustered the courage to take that step. The man collapsed to the ground, dug through the sand, and found just an empty soda can. He fell to the ground, laughing uncontrollably. In the end, he fired the flare and safely made it back home.